So, you heard the laughing there. I mean, absolutely hilarious. But I've got to ask you, Lisa, why the hell are you writing about your teenage years? Most people want to forget their teenage years.
Yeah.
What was it about your life, and especially in Derry, that you just thought this is just genius comedy material?
I think I've always liked stuff, and Liz has too, stuff, and Mike actually, stuff about teenagers and movies. Mostly American movies, and My So-Called Life was one of my favourite TV programmes when I was younger. Well, when I was young. But I also felt that me as a teen, I was never represented, and you know, the Northern Ireland I knew and the friends that I had, I never saw anything that felt really true to my experience. So I always thought when I got the chance, it was something I'd love to do, but you know, and I think we were saying earlier, that chance didn't come for a long time. I did a lot of other stuff before this.
So did you guys feel the same way, that obviously you've not seen, good teen, certainly not teen Northern Irish drama, because obviously we've had Skins and stuff like that, but you've never seen Northern Irish teen drama, is that right?
Yeah, I think it's partly because Lisa and I have spent a long time working together, and I don't think you always know why the specific things that you're talking about or your experience are funny. And I think maybe it took some other people going, that's mental.
Yeah,
to make you go, oh, maybe actually there is something in here that's a bit different or gives a slightly different flavour.
Can you recognise that it's mental?
I can. Well, like when I moved to London and I was there a while, I would be like talking to Liz and stuff and going, you know the way that the army would search your car, and she'd be like, no. And then I sort of went, oh God, this is unique, now I completely can see, as an adult looking back, that's an odd set of circumstances. Yeah.
Out of interest, how difficult was it for you, and obviously as the exec, Liz, to get this commissioned? Because you're right in saying it is a unique scenario, it's a unique proposition. Did you find it an easy commission, or was it a struggle?
I think, well, Liz and I have worked together for 10 years, and we had done another sitcom called London Irish, which was on Channel 4, so we had this relationship with Channel 4 that there was, I mean, it's taken a long time to get to this point, but I think there was real trust when I came to write something new for them.
It was actually a really straightforward
which is quite a boring.
But I think it's the end of quite a long road that was maybe less straightforward.
OK, so which is really important to hear, I think. That, I mean, it's great to hear that as two very successful women in television, that you're saying this was a straightforward commission, but it's not always been that way, has it? Because London Irish wasn't received so well.
No.
So talk to me about, your experience in terms of struggle, really, and, reaching this point now where you've had a massive success, but it's not always been like that.
I think for me, when I started writing for TV, I was writing a lot of, and I loved it, but a lot of sort of English characters, and there slowly seems to be more of an appetite for regional stuff, which is brilliant, and I just think that stuff's more interesting. We're hearing all these new exciting voices because of that, but I don't think Derry Girls would have been made 10 years ago.
OK, really?
Yeah, I think it would have been. I think I sort of had to go through all those stages to be in a position to be allowed to write about my own experience, if that makes sense.
Interesting. And also for you guys, the cast, would you have got these parts 10 years ago, do you think? Have you...
No, not at all. You didn't get scripts like this sent to you. Like, I was sent it, I was doing a play and I was doing a tour of the UK, and I was sent the script, and I remember reading that line, I'm not being an individual on my own, and thinking, oh my God, that's genius. But like, the characters were so well-rounded. Even though it was a comedy, there was nothing spared in it. It wasn't like a two-dimensional portrait. They felt like real people. But certainly I'd never had a script anything up to that level, ever.
Interesting. Tell me about Derry, because it feels as though it's a character, in and of itself. Was that a very deliberate act on your part, that you wanted it to feature so much?
Yeah, it's a big... the sense of humour is so much connected to that place, and it's a place that, you know, as a bit of an underdog, but it knows it as, and it sort of enjoys it a bit.
Is it?
Yeah, you know. So it's just these amazing people, I think, who've had lots of struggles, but have still managed to have a real sense of humour about it. And I think everyone that's from there is sort of fiercely proud of being from there, and you know, and the fact that they like the show is brilliant, because that's what I was terrified of, that they would go, that doesn't, you know,
reflect us.
Yeah.
And is it a funny place?
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
Yeah. It's like, you know, there's sort of like, there might feel like there's a surreal element to the show that exists on conversation.
Really?
I don't know what this conversation's about anymore, or why you know, like, I was there last week and I said to my mum, you know, we need to be 5 minutes because I have to do something, you know, in town. And we went in, she was like, I know. And we went into every shop and we spoke to everyone that she'd ever known in her whole life. And then she was like, see, people in this town, they just chat the arm off you. And it's like, you've done this, you know. So you find yourself in a lot of sort of, you know, things would drive you mad. But I love the sort of
familiar atmosphere.
Yeah, the way they are with each other there.
How do you, all of you, get the tone right in this series? Because obviously it's a comedy, but it's also profane, brilliantly. It's also sometimes very touching, but it is set during the Troubles. So how have you managed to get that tone and that balance right? I mean, obviously, Liz, you're the exec, so have you had to sort of step in at all and go, I think maybe the tone here?
Not at all, actually. And also, I kind of think, in a way, my feeling about the tone isn't the most important thing. Like, Lisa and the Northern Irish people involved in the show have a much better sense of where those lines are, and I wouldn't deign to interfere with that.
So you step back, but the Northern Irish guys, are you sort of going, oh, have you ever sort of gone, oh, I'm not sure that this is going to go down well, ever?
Never.
There's a very dark sense of humour in Northern Ireland. It would be too dark to put on screen, actually.
Really?
The way we speak to each other, but you could never use some of the jokes. That because they've had to find ways to cope with stuff that's such a small country, and the Troubles affected everyone. So they've had to have a sense of humour about it. But I think as well, because I'm from there, I hope I know where the line is. I hope I know what would offend me, or you know.
So do you think that you could maybe have even pushed it even further with Channel 4 in terms of that line? Because you're saying, look, you could never put half of this on screen. Do you think you could push it a bit further?
Yeah, maybe, but I mean, I'm always conscious of all sides of it, and of, you know, because there's so much there's a lot of terrible things that happen. You want to be respectful, but sort of bold as well. So it was just always about, and there's some jokes I sat on and went, oh God.
Could I?
Yeah, you know, and some I didn't do because I just thought I can't really fully stand by that, you know. But for the most part, I think the tone of it is sort of that we sometimes don't take very serious things seriously, and I think that comes across. Yeah.
And in the reverse, sometimes you take very unserious things very seriously.
Yeah, like a chip shop order.
Yeah.
No one's going to speak again. You know,
or a half load of washing.
Yeah. But
is that true? I mean, is that what it was like in your family? The chip shop order is just, you know.
I get too stressed now. I have to leave the room. When serious, yeah.